Hey everyone, this is Josh from before. I'm here with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Peacemaker from Suicide Squad. This is the first one from this wave that I will be opening up, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I do have some mixed expectations because, as I've said before, I don't fully love McFarlane's approach to live action characters. I don't think it's their strongest suit, and I think they tend to miss out on the fun factor sometimes, as they do with like their comic based figures. So we'll see how that holds up. Another big element to my mixed expectations is it looks like the no firearms mandate has made it all the way to figures. It started, it was they were blurring out guns in promotional materials for statues and toys and stuff like that, and now it seems as though they're not allowed to include firearms with figures. That's got to be the case, because there's no way they would have chosen to give this Peacemaker a sword over his gun that we see prominently in the trailers for the movie. Let's do a quick lap around here. Obviously, this is coming with the Build-A-Fig. It's got the movie title right there. Let's get him out. This might be the first time I've seen this from the multiverse wave, is that this the King Shark's arms are attached all the way through to the back of the cardboard. I think it keeps it a bit tighter in there. These things are heavy as hell. But I'm going to look at King Shark in his own video, so we're not getting him out, his arms out in this video. So first thing I gotta say is I just think this character design is tremendous. James Gunn really has this fantastic approach where he, I think he likes to make his characters both cool and stupid, you know, and I think this really just nails that. It's obviously very close to the original design of the character, which is from the 60s. From Charlton Comics, which were there still a lot of like war comics in the 60s? I'm not sure. That's what it feels like to me. This big giant stupid mask it's both really funny and stupid, but also kind of cool. And I love that sweet spot. It's really amusing to me. He's just like, he's wearing, you know, khaki pants and basically like an Under Armour t-shirt. I just think that's really funny and really seems to fit the character really well. I think the mask is missing a bit of detail. Actually, let's just look real quick. You see on the back, it's got that Dove logo, you know, on the forehead there. So it's missing a little bit of that. The John Cena likeness, I think, is actually really good. It's not quite on par with, I mean, the WWE has made 1,000 John Cena figures at this point. And they look fantastic. This is pretty good. This is definitely one of the better live action likenesses I think they've done in recent years. But I would have liked to have seen, you know, I don't know if you can see it. That chrome looks pretty good, but man, like when they did this Red Hood, the paint on that helmet, you see what I mean? See how it's reacting to the light? The Cena one looks all right. It's just maybe, I don't know. Well, now that I see it, you know what? I see it on camera now. It looks really good. I just think in person it's maybe missing a little bit of that chrome dimension. I think the helmet is a bit more rigid than some of the masks and hair applications that they've been putting on. Let's see how his clearance is. Pretty good head clearance. Is that double? Yeah, it's on a double. The head's on a double ball joint. It's got really good range. He doesn't have the butterfly connector, but he does have great shoulder range. So you're just looking at, he's got this bicep cut right here. I'm just kind of looking at his chest and his biceps, kind of, you know, and this is kind of where I come down on the live action designs excite me a little bit less, because this is John Cena, right? Like, he's huge. He's a massive dude. He's got giant pythons and a huge chest. And while that's definitely true here, I feel like his muscles could have been exaggerated a little bit more and actually kind of been almost more true to the actor and the character. And then so when you look at him and compared to other figures in the line, he's just got more of a different body shape. Just, the same way we look in a comic book, your muscly guys, you exaggerate the muscles. And I know they're aiming for this live action look, but I just think trying to be completely rigidly married to the likeness of the actor and the real world, it just makes the figure a little less exciting, and a little just, they could just, pop a little bit more. Like, it's okay to exaggerate an action figure. Really gnarly cuts here on these elbows, which is just yet another reason I wish, like, look at this Superman. He's got these huge pythons. This is literally the one time I almost wish they would have just done a single elbow and given John Cena the biggest guns they possibly could. So let's see how this torso works. So this is similar to the Last Night on Earth Batman, which was a soft torso. That cut looks a little big, obviously, when you do that. I still think it looked, without the diaphragm cut here and just in going with this, it looks super clean. It looks really sharp. But let's see how it actually turns. Side to side, pretty good. The question becomes, how do you, if he's got this movement, how does he clear his own waist? I think if you try to maybe push to it's a soft material, it gives a little bit, so actually if you bring the front of his shirt over his belt, you can get it a little further. So he's not going forward a ton. He can definitely go back. So here's a fix you can use sometimes with these ab crunch and waist articulation. So there's a waist, I'm going to call it a waist ab piece underneath there. I'm going to spin it all the way around. So that piece under there is moved around, and now I'm going to twist him back. So you can get maybe a little bit more. I don't know if you can or not. That might not have been worth anything. It's worth playing around with. He's got some movement in there. They're trying. They really are trying to get that waist and ab crunch better. I haven't been nailing it every time. He's got a little bit of hip rotation, not as much as I would like. The double knees, but again, it's a little smoother on the knees than it was on the elbows, but you know how it goes. Here's his sword. It's got some nice detail on the handle. It's got the little, I think the Peacemaker dove is what that's meant to be right there. This is still that soft material they've been using for sword accessories, but it's a little more rigid, which I like. I think this is a good middle ground to arrive at. If they're going to do this soft material, this has got a little bit more rigidity to it. I like that. He can hold this sword with two hands, which is really nice. It might be part of the reason why they removed that butterfly, just to give him a little bit more clearance to close his arms together like that. It's nice. I mean, it's all right. It's a good looking sword, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like, go watch a trailer for this movie. He's holding the gun in every shot. So, which is why I'm going to bring in one of Red Hood's guns here. Let's see how he looks with that. Now that makes a little more sense, I think, right? And I think it looks like in the movie he's got this huge barrel extender, so maybe it'll be a matter of taking that other gun, cannibalizing that, putting that on there to give it that extra exaggerated length. I don't know, we'll look into that. The guns aren't not perfect, obviously, because they got this like Red Hood logo on here, but I mean, I think that's going to be the closest thing. I think that's going to how I'm going to be displaying this guy. If you haven't been following this multiverse line, and you're thinking about getting on board for these figures, they feel fantastic in hand. They feel premium. They're really satisfying to hold and move in hand. And you know, seeing him next to this Aquaman kind of brings up, he's a little lacking on paint. I mean, it's a very clean, simplified looking costume. They could have gone, I think, a little bit farther in some of these, you know, just details, and to give him a little bit more depth, maybe just kind of a wash to bring those great textures of his pants and his shirt out, and maybe made that chrome a little bit more chrome-like. That's just kind of my taste level. That's Peacemaker. Yeah, this character is going to have his own TV show, not just the Suicide Squad movie, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot of him in the future. So if you're trying to lock down a figure representation of the character, this is the time to do it. This is a pretty good one. If you're excited at all about Suicide Squad, or you're trying to, you know, get these characters in action figure form, I think you'd be pleased with it. But if it's not your cup of tea, I don't think there's enough in here to change your mind, you know. And you're obviously going to need to pull some guns from somewhere, from your accessory stash, you know, to really make this the correct representation of the character. So that's it for this one. I've got the rest of the figures from this wave, videos for them coming in short order. I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.